How's it going, everyone? And welcome to another episode of the College Football Show on Friday, March 1st. It is officially March Madness season. But today, as you see by the title of the video, we're going over 2024 futures bet. And it is how many games will Penn State win? Let's get right into it. Penn State's win total is set at 9.5. So let's pull up their schedule first. So 9.5 wins. They start the year out at West Virginia. Can I see them winning at West Virginia? Yes, I can, but I can also see them losing. But as of right now, we look at this, and I see them beating West Virginia. So they're 1-0. They play Bowling Green at home. This should be an easy win for Penn State, so they're now 2-0. They come off their bye week, and they play Kent State at home. I see them beating Kent State. So that makes them 3-0. Then they play Illinois. I think Illinois is probably going to be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten this year. So I think they beat Illinois. They're 4-0. So they play their second conference game, and it's at home against UCLA. I don't think UCLA is going to be very good in DeAndre Foster's first year as head coach. So Penn State's going to start the year 5-0. Then they make the trip to Los Angeles, California, and they play at USC. Now, cross-country trip for Penn State. Do I think they're looking ahead to Wisconsin and Ohio State? Maybe. But I think they beat USC. So they're 6-0. Then after their second bye week, they come out and they play at Wisconsin. This is where I think Penn State takes their first loss. So they're 5-1. West Virginia, Bowling Green, Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, USC. So there's 6. They're 6-1 going into the Ohio State game. I think they lose to Ohio State. So they're 6-2. Then they got Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland. I think they beat Washington 7-2, beat Purdue 8-2, beat Minnesota 9-2, and lose to Maryland 9-3. So I think Penn State goes 9-3 this year in 2024, with their losses being to Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Washington. Those 3 games. I think they win the rest. Now we're going to look at the roster, and I am going to give you guys, I think that may have a good season this year, breakout season this year for Penn State. The first guy I'm going to talk about is A.J. Harris, sophomore defensive back. They lost Kalen King, and they lost a couple guys in the secondary. I think A.J. Harris and junior Cam Miller on defense are going to be the 2 guys that are going to step up and have a bigger role on defense for Penn State. And as you see, yes, A.J. Harris did transfer to Penn State from Georgia. And I personally, I like that move for A.J. Harris. I think he's going to do better at Penn State. Another guy on defense for Penn State that I can see having a big year is defensive end. No. Another guy on defense for Penn State that I can see having a big year is Caleb Artis. He played sparingly last year for Penn State. But I could see him having a really big year for Penn State this year in helping build that depth along the defensive line while playing a significant amount of snaps. Now we're going to go look at Penn State's offense. Another guy, so on offense now, a guy I can see having a big year is quarterback Drew Aller. Drew Aller is a guy I can see having a breakout year this year for Penn State. New offensive coordinator. I think they're going to throw the ball more. And I'm going to give you a bold prediction right now. If Aller struggles, don't be surprised if Penn State goes to freshman quarterback Ethan Grunkmeyer. Ethan Grunkmeyer, freshman. If Aller struggles, which I don't expect him to this year. That's the first guy in offense that I think is going to have a really good year for Penn State. At running back, you got two juniors. I'm going to look at one of the other guys. One of the other running backs. I'm going to look at running back Emil Davis, transfer from Marist. I think Emil Davis is going to have a not large role, but I think he's going to have a decent sized role in this Penn State offense. Maybe as the in rotation with Singleton and Allen. I think it's going to be a three-headed monster. And I think Emil Davis is going to benefit from that. Where's wide receivers at? Tight ends. I don't really see at tight end. I'm going to say a guy that's in store for a big year is Tyler Warren. He's been at Penn State for a while, and I think Tyler Warren is going to have a big year on offense for Penn State. So far, that's Aller, Davis, Warren. for the offense for Penn State that I think are in for big seasons. At wide receiver, I think Ohio State transfer Julian Fleming is in for a breakout season. He's probably going to be the second receiver on the field. So you're probably going to have Lambert, Smith on one side, and then Fleming on the other, with maybe a Malik McGee on the other in the slot, or maybe a Amari Evans. But back to Fleming. I was puzzled when I was kind of lost for why Julian Fleming, hopped in the portal when the portal opened. But then I understood why. Because he realized that he probably wasn't going to play at Ohio State this year. Because you've got Carnell Tate, you got Ibuka coming back, you got Brandon Ennis, you've got Jeremiah Smith. So Fleming was probably going to be a reserve wide receiver and rotate in with the other guys. So he hopped in the portal, and I give him credit. Hopped in the portal and went back home to his home state of Pennsylvania. And he transferred to Penn State. I like this move for Fleming a lot. Like I said, I think he's in store for a bigger role in the new team he's on in Penn State. And I'm going to give you a bonus guy to watch. A bonus guy that I think might have a breakout year. I'll give you two guys. And I'm looking at two sophomores in the wide receiver room at Penn State. Wide receiver Tyler Johnson, redshirt sophomore, out of Martinsville, Virginia. Magna Vista High School. Tyler Johnson, he's a guy that, if that name sounds familiar, there was a Tyler Johnson that went to Minnesota. This is a different one. But I like Tyler Johnson a lot. I've watched film. I watched film in almost every college football player. And I think there's a lot of good things when you look at film from Tyler Johnson. And I like his quick get off of the line of scrimmage. And I think that Tyler Johnson will have a good year this year for Penn State. And then my last one is Mekhi Flowers, redshirt sophomore wide receiver for Penn State. He is from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Central Dauphin East. Mekhi Flowers barely played last year for Penn State. I think he's going to get into more game action this year for Penn State. And I'm not saying he's going to have a prominent role, but I think he's going to get at least 30 to 35 receptions this year, maybe 400 or 500 yards and a couple touchdowns. And ladies and gentlemen, that'll wait. I offer memberships and merch. The memberships start at 99 cents a month. You get really neat perks with the memberships. I would highly advise you to at least give it a look and see if you want a membership. And same with the merch. At least give the merch a look. And as well, this is up on Patreon as well. My Patreon is linked. It'll be linked down in the description of this video. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you back here at 12 o'clock today for another mock draft and some NBA and college basketball upset picks. Because I said that yesterday, today, and tomorrow, the last 3 days of the regular season for me for college basketball are going to be loaded with upset picks and cover picks and over-unders. But until the next college football show, this is Alec Pecado signing off. I will see y'all at noon with another Sports Talk podcast episode. Have a great rest of your morning. Peace.